Good morning, gardeners. I'm in the front garden today. I hardly ever walk through here because we have a lot of traffic noise, so that sort of detracts me from the experience, I think, of viewing the video. You can hear them going by. It's crazy. It was never this busy until 10 years ago even. So anyway, so I walk through the garden. This is primarily there's a lot of spring bulbs in this garden. Because the trees don't leaf out until later. As a matter of fact, some of the trees haven't even leafed out yet. So it's a great chance to put in spring blooming flowers. So as you know, I love primula. And this is one of the ballerinas varieties. You can see it's just starting to, it's going to finish pretty soon. I'll probably be able to divide it. And we've got a gold heart bleeding dicentra in the back there. You can see that with its pink flowers and the chartreuse leaves. And then we've got hosta Empress Wu. She's going to be about 5 feet across this year. And yeah, great thing, great hosta. Just can't highly recommend it. It's just quite a statement piece in the garden. And over here you'll see that I do border a lot with primulas because they give us that great spring color. And this one here is a candelabra type. You can tell by the strong, tall stems there on that. And I'm not sure the name of these. They were probably bought a long time ago before I thought to even carry a name. Got a little bit of stilby in here. In the back, in behind, I'm going to have some goat spirit in behind the Empress Wu. I bought that as a root, so it's taken a little while to take hold. It looks like I might have a tree sapling in there too. I might have to pull out. Anyway, we've got a lot of rhododendrons and azaleas in here. You can see there's a red azalea here. Looks like I've got some dead branches to cut out, and that's pretty common with some of these plants. They're not perfect, they're old. They've probably been here for 30 years, so I don't blame them for giving up on a few branches once in a while. Of course, I've got lots of hellebores in, and they're all putting on their new growth now, so it looks fabulous. Lots of light here. Lots of light here in the summer. And these, I think, are a little type of viola. They've been here in the garden ever since we moved in. And I kind of take them out when they're too many. And you can see lots of leaves, but the hosta that's coming up there doesn't care, if there's leaves on there. And it'll just cover them up anyway, so we won't take the leaves off the garden this year. And this is one of my favorite hostas. Wish I knew the name of it. Don't know it yet. The leaves are a bit curled this year, which makes me wonder if that's part of a drought thing that's happened because we've had such dry summers, hot spells in the last 2 years. It's not quite this curly normally, but maybe it just needs to be divided, and that would be a good thing. There's a bunch of heucheras in here that have come with the garden. They've been here for 20 or 30 years. And of course I allow the orange poppies, and I'm trying to think what name it is. But anyway, I let them self-sow in this garden. You'll see there's a lot of bluebells in the garden that'll be out shortly too. Bluebells have been here forever, and I try not to, I just have to manage them. You can't get rid of them, I just manage them. So we've got a few more as you go around here. You can see I've got this beautiful big hellebore here. It bloomed just profusely this year, which is great because, yeah, it's just happy in its place, I guess. I do have a white azalea here. It's a bit of a concern because a lot of the buds seem to have froze off and turned brown, but sometimes that happens, right? On a cold winter, and maybe it opened up and then we had a frost. I just don't keep track. I see the little woodland anemones are coming out. They're in full bloom, and I just love that they carpet underneath all the rhododendrons. That just makes it nice, and of course it keeps down weeds as well. There's another little azalea there, and the rhodos. I'm going to switch this around so we can look at from the other end. Sorry about the light. Anyway, the rhododendrons are way taller than I am. They're about 12 feet high, I would say. So this garden is kind of messy right now. I haven't really done a lot to it yet. I just sort of picked up the odd weed here and there. And then we've got another rhododendron here that's just in bud. And I just love these guys. I mean, they got beautiful, beautiful leaves. And this is one of the Japanese hybrids. You can see the brown underneath. That's a real soft feeling to the touch. So that's great to have in the garden. Just nice to have different collections of rhododendrons. This area is my biggest concern because it's so close to the cedars. The cedar roots have just taken over this area, but there is a lot of hostas. They just aren't up yet, and so that should fill in, but we'll probably have to do some extra watering or something this year in this area. And then I've got the akuba. I should just back up here, make it a little smaller so you can see. There's the akuba there and a skimia. It's getting kind of noisy. We have a serviceberry above us. I don't know if you can see, all in full bloom right now with white flowers. It's really quite pretty. It's one of the first trees to bloom. Our flowering cherry isn't even in bloom yet. So we'll swing back this way. This is a very dry shade area. The primulas seem to do fine here. And I've got sword ferns and I've got hostas in here that are just starting to come up. This rhododendron, well, you can see by the back, there's another dead branch there, and that could be due to the summer heat. It's pure white, which is really lovely when it says real shady. When you've got deep shade, white flowers have a great impact in the garden, so it's a great one to have in the garden. It's huge, way over my head, way up there. There we go. And you can see the cedars all in behind here. Then we got another skimia here, which I need to cut back because I need to put some other plants in here. And then there's the hydrangeas have done so poorly in the front garden that I'm actually considering taking 3 of them up and putting them in pots so I can put them in different locations for color. And sometimes it's nice because I can actually water them better than growing in an area where it's got dry shade here. And the cedar roots are just they're going anywhere they can find moisture these days, and they're starting to reseed in the garden. And these western red cedars are really big. So they're probably about 50 years old now. We had them assessed and years ago, and they were that old. So they were here before the house was built. Then this is the akuba that we moved into this area. It was getting scorched by the summer heat. And then we got a few primulas and some ligularia and a pyrrhus that's been here for probably 30 years and kind of leggy, but it does its thing. And then we have our gazebo here, which I'm going to have to get the gazebo ready for summer. It'll spruce up the table. I was able to get a chandelier from the kids when they were moving. They didn't like it. They wanted a modern light. So we put a little chandelier in here. And then I'll just get a tablecloth and kind of dress it up. And then I've got the not a viburnum, but I'm trying to think of the name now. I'm going to forget. Of course, you do that, right? You know, it has oh yes, it is the viburnum, Bond Intense. Pink flowers in the summer, or in the winter, sorry. So it's just finished flowering. Not the most pretty plant when it's not in flower, but it's really nice to see those pink flowers in the summertime. And then, of course, I have to walk over here. The front garden's not exactly small. I kind of take care of it in sections. We're developing this new area here. There's going to be a brick wall. We're going to use some of those bricks to the back to sort of do a brick wall at the back. And there's going to be a pathway. You can see we got lots of junk sitting there that we got to get rid of. And this is Bluebell City. There will be so many bluebells. There'll be in shades. There are Spanish ones too. Pinks and blues and whites. So make nice for bouquets. We've got some astilbe in here. And look at these little anemones. They are so cute. And I got some native bleeding heart in here, still in bloom. Usually it gets kind of overrun by the bluebells. There'll be hostas coming up later in this area too. And more primula. And then another cute anemone. They're so dainty. You know, I planted them a couple years ago and either I missed seeing them flower or they just flowered this year. I don't know what happened. I thought the squirrel had got them all. So anyway, you can see how many bluebells are coming up in here. It's just kind of crazy. Not a lot in here right now, so we'll come back perhaps. Maybe I'll stop here and we'll come back when all the hostas are in bloom. So that's, you know, when they're coming up, that'll look really nice when they're all up, but they're just starting. Anyway, I'll call that a day. Sorry about the noise, but hope you have a great day.